It's a new year and a new chance for you to make a fresh start with your compliance. For the next 31 days on the FCPA Compliance Report, we're going to be bringing you a daily tip, strategy, or idea that you can use to improve your program. Here's your host, Tom Fox, the Compliance Evangelist.
This month's sponsor of 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance Program is Affiliated Monitors. Founded in 2004, Affiliated Monitors provides professional, independent, integrity monitoring and ethics and compliance assessments nationally and internationally and across almost all industries. With its knowledge of effective ethics and compliance programs and cultures, Affiliated Monitors is respected for its work as the corporate monitor on matters ranging from multinational corporations to small and mid-sized companies and even individuals. Having served in over 750 monitorships, no one has more experience as an independent monitor than the team at Affiliated Monitors. For more information on how an independent monitor can help improve your company's ethics and compliance program, visit this month's sponsor, Affiliated Monitors, at www.affiliatedmonitors.com. Levels of due diligence. Due diligence is generally recognized in 3 levels, each of which is appropriate for a different level of corruption risk. The key is for you to develop a mechanism to determine the appropriate level of due diligence and implement it going forward. Level 1. This level typically consists of checking individual names and company names through several global watch lists comprised of AML and a bribery sanctions list coupled with other financial corruption and criminal databases. These global lists create a useful first-level screening tool to detect potential red flags for corrupt activities. It is also a very inexpensive first step in compliance from an investigative viewpoint. The basic level 1 due diligence is extremely important for companies to complement their compliance policies and procedures, demonstrating a broad intent to actively comply with international regulatory requirements. Level 2. This level encompasses supplementing global watch lists with a deeper screening of international media, typically major newspapers and periodicals from all countries, plus detailed internet searches. Such inquiries will often reveal other forms of corruption-related information and may expose undisclosed or hidden information about the company, the third party's key executives, and associates. Level 2 should also include in-country database searches. Other types of information to consider obtaining are country of domicile and international government records, use of in-country sources to provide assessments, a check for international derogatory electronic and physical media searches, both in English and foreign language, regulatory or repository searches in the country of domicile. Further, if you are in a specific industry, use technical specialists and obtain information from sector-specific sources. Level 3. This level is a deep dive. It will require an in-country, boots-on-the-ground investigation. Level 3 due diligence is designed to supplement your company with a comprehensive analysis of all available public records, data, supplemented with detailed and field investigation to identify known and, more importantly, unknown conditions. Seasoned investigators who know the local language or familiar with local politics bring an extra layer of depth and assessment to an in-country investigation. Further, the direction of work in analyzing the resulting data is often critical to a successful outcome, and the key to understanding the results both from a technical perspective and understanding what the results mean in plain English. Investigative reports should also include actionable recommendations based on clearly defined assumptions or preferably well-developed factual data points. But more than simply an investigation of the company, including a site visit coupled with on-site interviews, other areas investigators should include an in-depth background check of key executives or principal players. These are not routine type employment background checks, which are simply designed to confirm existing information, but rather executive due diligence checks designed to investigate hidden, secret, or undisclosed information about the individual. Reputational information, involvement in other businesses, direct or indirect involvement in other lawsuits, history of litigious or other lifestyle behaviors which can adversely affect your business, and public perceptions of impropriety should they be disclosed publicly. Obviously, in this age of social media, this would certainly be amplified, so it's something else you need to consider most seriously. Further, you may need to engage a foreign law firm to investigate the third party in its home country to determine their compliance with the home country's laws, licensing requirements, and regulations. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, you should use a level 3 to look the proposed third party in the eye and get a firm idea of his or her cooperation and attitude towards compliance as one of the most important inquiries. Obviously, it's not legal based, but upon response and cooperation of the third party. More than simply trying to determine if the third party objected to any portion of the due diligence process or scope, coverage, or purpose of the FCPA, you can use level 3 to determine if the third party is willing to adhere to the FCPA and you are willing to partner with the third party. There are many different approaches to the specifics of due diligence. By laying out some of the approaches, you can craft the relevant portions onto your compliance program. The levels 1, 2, and 3 trichotomy appear to have the greatest favor and one that you should be able to implement in a straightforward manner. But the key is that you must assess your company's risk and then manage your risk. If you need to perform additional due diligence to answer questions or clear red flags, you should do so. And finally, never forget, document all of your due diligence and your analysis thereof. So today's 3 key takeaways are a review of the 3 levels of due diligence. Level 1 due diligence should only be used where there's a low risk of corruption. This can be in a low risk jurisdiction such as United Kingdom, Nordic countries, Western Europe, Singapore, or other similar locations. Certainly Canada would fall into that. Number 2, a level 2 due diligence is sufficient in a high-risk jurisdiction if there are no red flags to clear. So if everybody comes up clean, then you should be able to move forward even if it's a high-risk jurisdiction. And finally, level 3 due diligence is a deep dive, boots on the ground investigation. You need to go in and interview the principals. You need to talk to references. You need to put eyes on the proposed third party, and have a robust investigation and discussion about compliance going forward. Those are the 3 levels of due diligence. If I could ask you to do so, would you pass on to at least one person this podcast series on the nuts and bolts of compliance, as I'm trying to expand my audience base for 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance program. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow, where I take up another topic in innovation in compliance. Thanks again for listening. 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance program is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.